So then you took this opportunity in Cambodia, I think in 2018 or 19.
18 October.
Okay, and I want to know what made you take this. Now, Cambodia is not known for people going flocking there, and it's kind of an exotic country for us, and mostly known for the Angkor Wat temple, which by the way I'm watching a lot of videos of late. But it's what made you take this challenge, and what did you have any other options, and what did you have in mind?
Okay, just to share with you, in my full journey in Decathlon, I worked in logistics, supply, procurement, and pricing. And 2018, when this opportunity came, it was not the only opportunity. There was some more which was on the table. But for me, I have worked in my career before Cambodia. I worked in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, okay.
And I was also responsible of managing Pakistan. So I used to meet my team in Dubai or in Sri Lanka, which was more of neutral grounds. For me, all this journey pushed me on taking some decisions which can bring change in the life of people. Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons for me to move to Cambodia was the freedom at a country level. Of course, in Decathlon, you have a lot of freedom, but I had a freedom at a 360-degree view. Really happy that my team really made it happen, that in July, Decathlon in Cambodia became the first retailer in Cambodia and second Decathlon country across the world to have distribution network via electric trucks.
Oh. So
this was a message as a personal mission for me that, guys, when we can do it in a least developed country, come on, we can do it in any other country.
We had the first electric bus run in Bangalore day before yesterday. Passenger bus. Okay, interesting. Very nice.
For me as an individual, one of the core motivation for Cambodia as a country was the potential that the country had. It has a very young population, a population which is crazy ambitious, which is crazy in terms of achieving things. They are self-motivated. It's not at all a least developed country where you don't have infrastructures, you have internet coverage, you have 4G network everywhere. Cambodia will also be one of the few countries to test 5G as first in the world. So I saw the full recipe which was ready, ingredients which were ready. Just for me, tadka lagane ki zarurat thi bas.
So tell us more about the business setup there and the economy, and especially with reference to this whole pandemic and how China has, there's a lot of talk about losing out and a lot of businesses moving to countries like Vietnam. So we heard a lot about Vietnam, but not as much about businesses moving to Cambodia. But
yes.
I would, if you have information, not only about Cambodia, but if you can cover your neighbors as well for us, that would be nice to know. And how is the business environment in Cambodia per se for people to work?
So I will just give you a perspective pre-COVID of Southeast Asia and post-COVID of Southeast Asia. So pre-COVID of Southeast Asia was a primarily market which was split into 3 or 4 categories. So if you take the, not the niche, but the premium market, it would come towards Singapore, it would come towards Malaysia, which is more on logistics and financial sector. These are the 2 dominant sectors that exist in Malaysia and Singapore, which is the premium segment. So you will have high-paying companies, the top-notch companies in the world, based as their locations in either Singapore or Malaysia. The rest countries doesn't have this, doesn't have logistics, doesn't have financial sector as the premium, but they work more towards manufacturing. Now, manufacturing, I can give you especially for 3 verticals. The first vertical is lifestyle and fashion, which is also a Decathlon. So any garment kind of manufacturing and everything. The second is technology. So you're talking about electronics, you're talking about communication devices and everything. And of course, the third comes is agricultural products. So there is a lot of manufacturing that happens locally in terms of mangoes, in terms of dragon fruit. These are all tropical fruits which get exported a lot. You will be very surprised to hear this. So Cambodia does a lot of coconuts, and these coconuts are actually taken to Thailand or Vietnam and processed and send back to Cambodia to sell. So
that's interesting. I didn't know this.
One of the reasons why is that Southeast Asia as a zone has a lot of freedom. When I say freedom, what does it mean? So pre-COVID, if you are a citizen of any of these 5 countries, you can travel between 2 countries without visa.
Really? So it's kind of a Euro zone.
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea about this. Okay.
Yes.
So which are the countries which are part of this?
So all the ASEAN group,
okay,
all countries registered under ASEAN have the freedom. So for example, if a Cambodian wants to visit Singapore, he can stay for a period of 90 days or 180 days, visa free. A Vietnamese want to visit Cambodia, a Cambodian want to visit Thailand. So this is the freedom that they have pre-COVID. Of course, there is no visa restriction with COVID, but pre-COVID it was very easy. So you had a lot of flow of people coming into corporate sector from one country to another. Even though, we're sitting very far away from Southeast Asia, we feel, okay, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, different. Of course, they are different. But in terms of job opportunities, it's very easy when you relocate between 2 countries. I have had in the last 1 year quite friends. A few of the friends who moved to Vietnam, who moved to Singapore, and somebody from Singapore who moved to Cambodia. So it's quite easy in terms of that. So this is, I would say, a uniqueness of Southeast Asia. Vietnam is like a perfect recipe for buyers. Why? First, you have a free trade agreement if you are a European buyer. Second, you already have a huge amount of skilled labor. This is where India lags a bit, where we have the potentiality, but we don't have competency. I can tell you in terms of technicality, India makes brilliant, low-cost, first-price product, which are the basic ones. But the moment you become more technical, India doesn't have that competency, which Vietnam really focused on. Vietnam did a very smart decision, I would say, in the last few years, where they focused, last few means last 20 years, that they focused a lot on the high-value products and let India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh absorb the less technical products. They were quite visionary on this aspect, where they knew that eventually the person who does the technical products will be the winner.
You're saying this was a conscious, strategic decision by the governments.
Okay. Yes. I can give you another example where a country takes a very conscious decision. So 2013 to 15, China built a cross-continent train service. And Decathlon was one of the first one to use the full block train from Chengdu all the way to Disbal, which is crossing close to 7 countries, entire China and Europe.
That's part of the BRI initiative that they call, right?
That came later.
Okay. But now is it part of the BRI initiative?
Yes. But BRI is something which was defined later on. But China actually took a conscious decision from the period of 2010 to 2013, where they took a decision that we will degrowth. Why we will degrowth is to prepare ourselves. So it was a conscious decision that for 3 years, I will degrowth so that in the coming 15 years, the speed of my growth is going to be insane.
Right. So that's a very good note for my next question in terms of the career opportunities, right? And we see, and for that region to evolve, there would be a lot of experts needed, and just like you have gone there. And we have already, I'm noticing that a lot of people are going on projects to Vietnam and Thailand, and people like you to Cambodia. So there is probably a requirement, going up. Yeah, and India definitely offers that advantage of being closer, more culturally closer, geographically closer. So how do you advise people who maybe tomorrow, if I get an opportunity from Vietnam or Thailand or Cambodia or any of these countries, how should we evaluate it, and how is it like to live there, in these countries? And you have traveled extensively in all of that region. So what do you advise from that perspective?
The first thing is, how do you evaluate? So here it actually benefited me because I had a lot of multi-country experience. So it was not so tough for me to take this decision. Okay. one thing: if you're a vegetarian, don't come to Southeast Asia.
Oh my God.
It's jokes apart. Of course, you can survive. There is no problem. I have some friends.
So it's like a European vegetarian or Indian vegetarian? European vegetarian is like, the chicken eaters there are vegetarians, right?
For example, I am not 100% vegetarian. I'm a chicken eater vegetarian.
So
But I cook my own food. So that's the benefit.